You've heard the phrase a million times, right? Don't open Pandora's box. It's our go-to warning for unleashing some kind of irreversible chaos. But what if I told you the story you think you know is wrong? Well, let's dive in and see what's really going on with this famous myth. So, what does happen? When you hear that phrase, you probably picture trouble, a whole mess of problems that you just can't put back in the box once they're out. It's a really powerful image, but to get to the bottom of it, you have to find the box first. And this is where our story takes a hard left turn. Because when you go looking for that box in the original tale, well, it's not there. That's right, a jar, not some ornate, mysterious box. This one little detail, totally lost in translation hundreds of years ago, changes how we look at the entire story. It's wild how one little mistake can reshake a myth. Okay, so let's get into the original myth. To really get what the metaphor is all about, we gotta go back to the source, back to an ancient Greek poet who is trying to answer one of the biggest questions there is. Why is there so much suffering in the world? So in this epic poem called Works and Days, the container is called a pithos. Now, a pithos was just a big, heavy earthenware jar, like something you'd store grain or wine in, super common. It wasn't until centuries later that a scholar mistranslated it as pyxis, which means a small, decorative box. And for whatever reason, that image of the box just stuck. The story itself is basically a domino effect. It starts with the Titan Prometheus stealing fire for us mortals. Zeus gets furious and wants revenge. So he creates Pandora, the very first woman, and sends her to Earth with this sealed jar as a gift, telling her, whatever you do, don't open this. Of course, human curiosity being what it is, she just can't resist. She cracks the lid and boom, out fly disease, misery, death, all the evils of the world. She slams it shut, but it's too late. The only thing left trapped inside is hope. So you can see how this simple story suddenly becomes this container for some of humanity's deepest, most complex ideas. It's way more than just a woman and a jar. It's a way for us to talk about what it means to be human. And these ideas are exactly why the myth has lasted so long. It gives us an origin story for suffering. It's a warning about where our curiosity can lead. It's the perfect metaphor for that horrible, sinking feeling of realizing you've made a mistake you can't undo. And it leaves us with this really tricky question about hope. Is it a good thing trapped inside with us, or is it a final kind of torture, something we can see but never quite reach? And because this myth is so rich with meaning, it became this incredible tool for some of the world's greatest writers. They took this ancient blueprint and used it to build their own powerful stories about ambition, mistakes, and the consequences that follow. I mean, you see the pattern right away when you compare Pandora to Eve. Both are these foundational first women, and both, through one single act, opening a forbidden jar, eating a forbidden fruit, completely changed the world for the worse, unleashing suffering and sin. They are the original characters in the story of irreversible change. You can feel that same dangerous curiosity burning in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Victor isn't just doing science, he's chasing forbidden knowledge. He wants to know the secrets of heaven and earth. He's trying to play God. In the creation of his monster, that is Victor opening his own Pandora's box. He unleashes this tragic, destructive force that he absolutely cannot control, and it ends up destroying him and everyone he's ever loved. His ambition literally released a plague on his own life. And if you think Victor was ambitious, Dr. Faustus takes it to a whole other level. He doesn't just want knowledge, he wants to be a deity. Talk about hubris. So for him, signing that pact with the devil, that's the moment the lid flies off the jar. He gets all this power he craved, sure, but in doing so, he unleashes his own eternal damnation. He opened the box, and what came out was literally hell. Now, in Oscar Wilde's novel, the Pandora's box isn't a physical thing at all. It's a poisonous idea whispered into Dorian Gray's ear by Lord Henry, planting the seed of moral corruption. And Dorian's wish to stay young and beautiful forever? That's him throwing the box wide open. He thinks he's just getting endless pleasure, but what he really unleashes is all the cruelty and darkness hidden deep inside his own soul. William Golding kind of flips the whole idea on its head. For him, it's not a single person's action. The island itself, with no rules and no adults, becomes the container. And what gets released is the savagery that was already lurking just beneath the surface of these supposedly civilized boys. So why are we still talking about this story thousands of years later? Well, it's because it's not just some dusty old myth. It's a living, breathing metaphor that we still use constantly to make sense of our own complicated world. Seriously, think about it. We use this metaphor for everything. When scientists first developed nuclear weapons, they knew they were opening a box. Today, with the rapid rise of AI, people are asking that same question. Are we about to open a box and release something we can't control? It's our shorthand for any huge leap forward that comes with equally huge risks. And that, right there, is why Pandora's myth endures. It perfectly captures that terrifying, universal human experience of crossing a line you can't uncross. It's the story of the point of no return. It's that stomach-dropping moment right after you've made a choice, when you realize, with total clarity, that nothing will ever be the same again. Which kind of leaves us with a pretty daunting question, doesn't it? As we're pushing the boundaries of genetic engineering, artificial intelligence, and social change, you have to wonder, what jars are we trying to pry open right now? And what are we about to unleash on ourselves? What do you think?